You know, in the corporate world, technology used to just be, well, a tool, humming away in the background. But not anymore. Now, it's right at the very heart of how a company survives and thrives. We're going to explore this huge shift from tech as a simple convenience to its new role as a core driver of environmental, social, and governance, or ESG strategy.
To really get what's at stake here, let's turn to literature for a second. In Chinua Achebe's classic, Things Fall Apart, the protagonist's tragic downfall isn't because he was weak, it's because he stubbornly refused to adapt to a changing world. It's a really powerful lesson, and honestly, it's a story that corporate boards today should be paying very close attention to.
Okay, let's break this down. For way too long, boards saw technology as just an administrative helper. You know, something for emailing agendas, maybe a secure place to store documents, or a way to have a virtual meeting. But that way of thinking, it's not just old-fashioned, it's actually dangerous now. The new reality is that technology is a strategic partner. It's what you use to actually drive your ESG strategy, to monitor sustainability metrics in real time, and to navigate the maze of modern regulations.
And this brings us right to what we can call the Umufia challenge. It's this deep-seated resistance to change, this mindset where technology is still seen as just a simple tool, not as the foundational pillar of modern governance that it has become.
The truth is, a lot of boards are still operating in the past. They're bogged down in these old-school, manual, inefficient processes. Compliance is treated like this annoying chore to just tick off a list. And ESG, well, that's often just a side note on the agenda, not a core priority. And this huge gap between the old way of thinking and what the market demands today, it creates massive reputational and financial risks.
But here's the thing. The world isn't waiting around for these boards to catch up. A new reality is being forced on them, and it's being driven by a regulatory landscape that is changing at lightning speed.
And this pressure is very real. In Kenya, for example, you've got the Capital Markets Authority, the CMA, rolling out new guidelines on sustainability reporting. At the exact same time, the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, the ODPC, is seriously tightening its grip on how companies handle data. The message from regulators everywhere is crystal clear. The bar for accountability is getting higher and higher. So, here's the bottom line. For any organization that's under the microscope, from regulators, from investors, from the public, weaving technology into your core governance isn't a nice-to-have anymore. It's not optional. It is absolutely essential for your survival and your relevance in this new economy.
So how do boards actually make this leap? Well, it all starts with getting the right tools. Let's look at 3 key technologies that really make up a modern digital governance toolkit.
First up, we have board management software. Think of this as the central nervous system for the board. It's basically a cloud-based command center that digitizes and streamlines absolutely everything, from getting ready for meetings all the way to tracking compliance tasks in real time. And these platforms? They come with some serious ESG superpowers. For starters, they dramatically cut down on paper, which is a clear environmental win. But more than that, they can host live dashboards showing your sustainability numbers, automatically send out reminders for disclosures, and create these perfect, verifiable audit trails that prove the board is actually walking the walk on its ESG commitments.
And hey, this isn't just some abstract idea, it's happening right now. The Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, KEMSA, recently adopted a system called Convene for this exact reason, to modernize their governance. It's a really practical step towards being more efficient and more accountable.
Okay, next up in our toolkit is a big one, data analytics and AI. This is all about how you take just massive, overwhelming amounts of data and transform it into clear insights you can actually use to make smart ESG decisions.
The power here is just incredible. AI can help a bank figure out its loan portfolio's exposure to climate risk. It can let a factory track its carbon emissions as they happen. It can scan global supply chains for ethical red flags, or even automatically spot weird irregularities in sustainability reports. It's about making decisions based on hard data, not just hunches.
And we're seeing Kenyan companies really lead the charge here. Equity Group, for example, is using predictive analytics to understand climate risk inside its lending business, making sure it stays aligned with the new guidelines from the central bank. That's a perfect example of using data to be both compliant and incredibly forward-thinking.
And it's not just Equity Group. Take Safaricom's Sustainability Dashboard, another fantastic case study. It pulls together data from all over the company to paint a super clear picture of its performance on everything from energy use to social impact. This allows them to set data-driven targets and be truly accountable. The third and final piece of our toolkit is cybersecurity frameworks. And let me be clear, this is not just an IT issue anymore. It's a fundamental pillar of good governance.
We're talking about having structured policies and controls in place to protect your organization's most valuable asset, its data.
So why is cybersecurity so central to ESG? Well, think about it. If a board fails to protect customer, employee, or shareholder data, it's failing at its social and its governance duties. Period. Strong cybersecurity is what prevents catastrophic reputational damage and huge fines. It's how you show a real commitment to accountability and build that crucial digital trust with everyone you deal with.
So how do they do this? Well, smart boards are increasingly adopting proven frameworks like ISO/ISC 27001, or they're aligning their plans with national strategies, like Kenya's own National Cybersecurity Strategy. These provide a clear roadmap for building resilience in a world where digital threats are always changing.
Okay, so we've got the toolkit, board software, data analytics, and cybersecurity. But adopting these tools isn't just about looking modern, it's about the payoff. Let's look at the real, tangible benefits you get across all three pillars of ESG.
The results are really clear and direct. For the G, governance, board software gives you much stronger oversight and a clear, provable record of accountability. For the S, the social pillar, digital platforms create way more transparency and make it easier to include all your stakeholders. And for the E, the environmental pillar, and this is so important, data analytics and AI allow boards to move past just making symbolic gestures and actually create measurable, data-driven strategies that have a real impact.
Which brings us right back to where we started. The choice that every single corporate board is facing today is pretty stark. You either adapt to this new technological reality or you risk becoming a relic of the past.
It's the exact same trap Okonkwo fell into and things fall apart. Boards that cling to these old manual ways of doing things risk being completely undone. And their failure won't be because they lack strength or intelligence. It'll be because of a simple resistance to change in a world that has already left them behind. Hesitating to bring technology into the boardroom is a direct path to irrelevance.
So we'll leave you with this one question to think about for your own organization. Is your board clinging to tradition, or is it actively using technology to build a more resilient, accountable, and sustainable future?